Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Had kind of a day. I got two pistons in on this side and I got all the other ones in over here. Everything looks amazing with the motor. The plugs in the back and the plugs up here in the front. Um as you can man, I almost fell over. As you can see, the assembly is all coming together. I have to call SCAT and get the torque specs. I know you use Molly Lube to install these. But this is a fully forged, fully balanced 347. So I had a little snafu. We all have snafus sometimes. The ring orientation was wrong, the rod orientation, excuse me, on these last two cylinders, and I had to flip them, and I pulled the rings off, and as I was pulling the rings off, both of the second rings broke on both pistons. So I fixed the orientation. I had to take the spiral locks off next and then flip the rod. I fixed the orientation issue. I caught it. You know what I mean? I got under there, and as I did one, I inspected the underneath side. Let me show you. Um, this isn't really too smart, but I got on this stand well, and I'm really into this. So I got up under here in the motor with the motor above my head, and I don't really like that position. But you know how I'm into this, so if it falls on top of me, I just hit it with an elbow or something, I don't know. But anyway, I go to the assembly and feeling and touching and guiding this in. You see the assembly lube. So everything here is looking really good and is right. I got the assembly together correct, and it's just like those two had an issue. So I want to torque this all down and make sure everything's right. So that's what I need to do. And tomorrow I'm probably going to flip this over and find the torque specs and go ahead and take all these ARP scat bolts they got here and take these ARP bolts off. And I'm going to go ahead and put Molly Lube on the threads and go ahead and torque those down. You know what I mean? Everything with this assembly is practically like brand new. The rods are new, the pistons are used, the cranks used. Everything else is pretty much new on this assembly. Um, but the pieces are in excellent condition. You know what I mean? They're not damaged or nothing. Kind of a little dirty, for me installing. I haven't wiped them down, but so I'm gonna do the lifters tomorrow. Put the cam in, put the thrust plate, and try to get the timing cover, water pump, and balancer on. While I'm doing all that, I'm thinking is I'm gonna try to do everything I can until I get those two rings. Two of my rings broke on the pistons. So stuff happens, and now I'm set back, and the guy's supposed to come on Sunday, so I'm a little bit blowed right now because I have this motor sold. But in a way, after all this time, I put 6 months into it, and I've put mad labor into this block and work and these pieces and polish them and getting all the best pieces, and I've got a lot of money into this. So if something doesn't work out, he doesn't like the motor, has a problem, I'll probably pull the ad and I'll keep the motor. Because, when you do something like this and you spend 6 months on something like this and you dump all your money into it, making it the best you can make it, and go through trials and tribulations through it, you get attached. You do get attached, but I built this one to sell, and it's honestly going to be over 500 horsepower, which is going to be impressive for a 302 block. Um, you got to put the work in. You got to know what you're doing. It's got to be done right. All those things here in this case are the cylinders got a fresh hone. The assembly's been balanced. I've polished the pistons. We have new H-beam rods. I've polished the crank several times. We have all ARP bolts throughout. There's not much detail to miss. We have an air gap. We got port matched 210cc heads that used to be 190. Our air gap is matched to 210cc. He's got a high flow water pump. We have every ARP bolt imaginable. It's got a harmonic dampener, not a balancer. Um, so I mean, there's not much I missed, and he could get more numbers if he added a high rise intake, but I don't know if he's got hood clearance in a 66. But 500 to 530, those are the estimates I've heard. I mean, I'm saying 500, the tuner's saying 530, or more. So that's what I know, and I know this is going to be nice because I put the time in. So like, subscribe, and share. And as always, keep on dreaming.